The world was painted in gold and orange. The sun was setting, casting long, dramatic shadows across the wide, slow-moving river. A thick mist rose from the water's surface, clinging to the air like a ghostly blanket. It was incredibly hot and humid. Every breath felt heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and sweet decaying leaves. My small canoe cut silently through the dark, glassy water. It was the only thing moving with purpose in this vast, ancient landscape. The jungle on either side was a solid wall of green, a fortress of tangled vines and enormous trees that towered towards the sky, their tops lost in the swirling fog. The sounds were overwhelming. A symphony of the wild played all around me, a constant living soundtrack to this incredible place. The sharp, piercing cries of macaws echoed from high in the canopy, their vibrant calls cutting through the thick air. Somewhere deeper in the trees, a troop of howler monkeys began their guttural, roaring chorus, a sound so powerful it seemed to shake the very leaves on the branches. The gentle lapping of the water against the side of my canoe was a soft rhythm, punctuated by the rustle of unseen creatures moving through the undergrowth. This was the Amazon, alive and breathing around me. Drifting along, I felt incredibly small. The scale of this place is impossible to truly understand until you are in its heart. The river was a massive, serpent-like artery, and I was just a tiny speck floating along it. The mist made everything feel mysterious and unreal, as if I had paddled into a forgotten world. The air was so still that I could feel the buzz of insects against my skin and hear the faint splash of a fish breaking the surface far away. It was a place of immense beauty, but I knew that beneath the surface of this tranquility, powerful and dangerous forces were at play. My paddle dipped into the water with a quiet splash, the only sound I was responsible for. I was an intruder here, a visitor in a kingdom that had existed long before humans. The dense foliage on the riverbank seemed to watch me, 1,000 hidden eyes peering out from the shadows. Every creak of a branch, every ripple on the water sent a shiver of anticipation down my spine. The fading light made the jungle seem even more imposing, its secrets held tightly within its leafy embrace. This was an expedition into the unknown, where every moment was filled with both wonder and a primal sense of caution. As the canoe rounded a slow bend, my heart suddenly hammered against my ribs. There, on a low muddy bank, was a sight that commanded absolute respect, an anaconda. It was colossal, thicker than my leg, and draped over a fallen log that dipped into the water. Its immense body was a masterpiece of natural camouflage, a pattern of dark green and black blotches that blended perfectly with the wet mud and decaying wood. The last rays of the sun caught its scales, making them glisten like polished stones. It was a true giant, a ruler of this watery domain, and it was completely still. I stopped paddling, letting the gentle current carry me closer. The silence felt heavy, charged with an incredible energy. The anaconda was a living statue, a monument to the power of the Amazon. I could see the immense bulk of its coils, packed with muscle capable of overpowering almost any creature in this jungle. It lay with its head resting near the water's edge, its body a formidable barrier between the land and the river. The sheer size of it was breathtaking, a reminder that we were in the territory of apex predators who have ruled these forests for millennia. The canoe drifted silently, and I held my breath. I was now only a few meters away. The great snake slowly, almost lazily began to move. It was not a sudden action, but a deliberate, fluid uncoiling. The massive head lifted slightly, and it slid forward with an impossible grace. It moved without a sound, a river of muscle pouring itself into the dark water. A series of gentle ripples spread out from where it entered, disturbing the misty surface. It disappeared beneath the murky depths, leaving no trace it had ever been there, except for the powerful image burned into my mind. For a moment, I just floated there, my paddle resting across my lap. The jungle sound seemed to rush back in to fill the silence left by the snake's departure. The monkeys continued their calls, and the insects buzzed relentlessly, all indifferent to the drama that had just unfolded. I felt a profound sense of awe. I hadn't been a threat, merely an observer of its daily life. The encounter was a quiet, powerful display of the hidden life teeming within this river. It was a privilege to witness, a stark reminder that the most incredible things in this place are often hidden just out of sight. My journey continued as the sky deepened into a dark, inky blue. The mist grew thicker and the world was reduced to what was immediately around my canoe. I kept my eyes scanning the banks, but also the branches that hung low over the water. The jungle is a three-dimensional world, and danger can come from any direction. It was then that I saw it. Coiled around a thick branch directly above the path of my canoe was another magnificent serpent. This time, it was a tree boa, its body a beautiful mosaic of earthy browns and yellows, perfectly designed to melt into the bark and leaves. It was positioned in a classic ambush pose. Its coils were tightly wound, a spring-loaded trap of pure muscle, ready to strike at any unsuspecting prey passing below. Its head was distinct from its body, resting calmly and facing down towards the river. I could see its eye, a dark, unblinking orb that seemed to absorb the last of the fading light. It was watching the water, patient and focused. The canoe was drifting directly towards it. I had a choice: paddle hard to change course and risk making a commotion, or glide silently underneath and hope for the best. I chose to be silent. The canoe slid slowly forward, directly under the heavy, fruit-laden branch. I could feel the humidity dripping from the leaves above, landing on my arms and face like a cool sweat. Looking up, I was mesmerized by the snake's stillness. I could see the individual scales, each one a perfect interlocking piece of natural armor. They had a dull shine in the dim light. Its forked tongue did not flick out. It was in a state of complete, energy-conserving patience. The air was thick with the sounds of frogs and nocturnal insects, a chorus that seemed to grow louder as my own senses sharpened with adrenaline. Passing beneath it, I felt like I was trespassing under the watchful gaze of a silent guardian. The boa did not move a muscle. It remained a part of the tree, an extension of the jungle itself. Once I was clear, I risked a final glance back. It was still there, a coiled shadow in the canopy, waiting. The encounter was completely different from the anaconda. This was not a giant disappearing into the depths, but a hunter, perfectly adapted to its world, showcasing a different kind of power. The power of patience, camouflage, and the poised potential for a sudden, lethal strike. As darkness finally consumed the last hints of twilight, I found a small, clear inlet to rest the canoe for a while. The jungle was now a place of sounds and shadows, a world perceived more by hearing than by sight. The encounters with the two great snakes had left me with a feeling that is hard to describe. It was a mix of pure adrenaline, profound respect, and a deep sense of humility. I was a guest in their home, a temporary visitor in a world governed by ancient rules of survival. These creatures were not monsters. They were masters of their environment. Magnificent animals that deserved our admiration, not our fear. The beauty of the Amazon is not just in its vibrant colors or stunning landscapes. It is in this raw, untamed wilderness. It is a beauty that is intertwined with danger. The same river that provides a path for my canoe is home to the anaconda. The same trees that offer shelter are the hunting grounds for the boa. This balance is what makes the rainforest so special and so fragile. Every rustle in the leaves, every splash in the water is part of a complex story of life and death, a cycle that has continued for millions of years. My journey on that misty river was more than just an adventure. It was a powerful lesson in perspective. In our modern world, we often feel like we are in control. But here, in the heart of the Amazon, you are reminded that nature is the one truly in command. The silence of the snakes, their calm and deliberate movements spoke volumes. They conveyed a confidence that comes from being perfectly in tune with your surroundings. They held the secrets of this place in their very being, in their patient watch and their silent glide. The stars began to appear in the gaps between the canopy, bright and clear in the unpolluted sky. The air, though still hot, felt clean and alive. I felt a sense of peace settle over me, a peace born from surviving a thrilling brush with the wild. The Amazon had shown me its teeth, but it had also shared its incredible soul. It is a place that demands your full attention and your deepest respect. To travel here is to understand that we are a small part of a much larger, wilder, and more beautiful world.